I really shot myself in the foot with this one. Oh god. For some ungodly reason, I decided to watch 21 films this week. Most of them are classic Walt Disney shorts, so at least I'm not watching full feature films. I have to explain all of them completely. I can just do them quickly. But hey, they're all on Disney Plus, so might as well just knock them out. This week was mostly something different. Instead of just one film per day, which I haven't really been doing, just been doing the weekdays so far, I decided to watch multiple shorts I haven't watched in a long time, and see what my updated opinions are of them. So most of these shorts I've watched when I was younger, or maybe a few years ago, but now that I'm older, and hopefully more mature, I would give my updated opinions on them and see how much they've held up. Yeah. Just a heads up, 8 of these shorts are from a DVD pack. I used to religiously watch. So I'm going to be going out of order to talk about them all together, just so it'll be easier for me, mainly because I'm talking about 21 films here. I think it would be fair if I group all of these together, make them a bit easier. Though from what I've written in this script, I'm probably not going to be doing that till the 8 ones. I'm not even finished. I have to go somewhere soon, so I want to just get this bit done right now. Alright, no explanations. Pretty much most of this will be me grouping this together, yada yada yada. There is one full feature film. It's not just a bunch of shorts. There is one full feature film and a TV special to mix up the mix. Let's get into them, shall we? I've made a huge mistake. First up is a short called All Wet. And this is a early short, back in the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit days. And it's just him asking to become a lifeguard just to impress a lady rabbit. And he goes to sea and saves her like a real lifeguard. So I don't think he's having any lifeguard training, but hey, this is a 20s early cartoon. These don't really make any sense. Let's be honest. Yeah. I just said that and I wrote that in the script. I think that was intentional, but at the same time, not really. Let's be honest. It doesn't make sense, let's be honest, but it has that certain charm that, like no other, that I wish more films would have nowadays. I mean, there's loads of films from the early 1900s, like from the 20s to the 40s, have that sort of charm that nowadays films just cannot recreate or match. I mean, if someone gives something interesting, there was a notification. I'm keeping that in. If someone gives us something interesting, like this sort of era, gives us a proper good feel-good vibe, but make it more mainstream for loads of more people to watch, because I know a couple films that do this sort of thing, but it's made in more recent times, then I'd definitely like to watch this. I'd definitely like to watch that. Yeah. Also, Oswald is cooking sentient hot dogs in this, so he's basically killing live individuals for profit. Something to think about. The next 3 are Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 30s. Yes, I'm still bunching these up for my sake. The first one is Through the Mirror. This is a parody on Alice Through the Looking Glass, and it has that wackiness you expect from Lewis Carroll's books. It's also a nice prelude of what will come eventually with Alice in Wonderland in about 20 years or so. Yeah. There's just a lot of fun to go with this short. I mean, one moment Disney dances with a queen card, and he was going to cuck the king card. You don't do that, Disney. You don't try to steal a man's woman. Yeah, that's something I'm not going to support you on this one. I'm not supporting you on that ever, man. Don't try and steal a man's lady. They will not appreciate that. No one does. With personal biases aside, The next one is the band concert, and is a musical sync, or it's a music sync of animation and music tied together, and it's just done really well. It's like the musical scenes from Fantasia, where the animation syncs to the music, and it's done really well, and it's done really beautifully. It's not as in here. It will never be as beautiful as Fantasia, even though I have not watched it. Blasphemy, I know, but still, it's very good, and it's very entertaining as well. But let's talk about Mickey in this one. He's a dick to Donald. I mean, they're supposed to be best friends. They're supposed to be pals for life, with Goofy being the third guy. I'm joking about that one. Yeah, Goofy will always have their hearts and have our hearts as well. But yeah, they're supposed to be best friends, and yet Mickey looks genuinely annoyed by his presence and tries to swat him away from joining the band. What is up with you, Mickey? Though I like the reoccurring gag of Donald just pulling flutes out of his sailor's jacket. That was funny. I do like that. Yeah. Also, it's nice to see Horace Horsecollar in one of these. I mean, especially nowadays where you don't really see him that much, compared to characters like Clarabelle. I mean, I only knew about Horace and even Oswald to about, at most, 5 or 6 years ago. And I knew Clarabelle when I was a kid, so that's just shocking. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's nice seeing him, considering he's a forgotten relic of Disney characters. If Epic Mickey told us anything, that is. Yeah. Final point. Goofy and Clarabelle looks like they had personal business with each other. Yeah. They absolutely had bedroom eyes during this. So even in the 30s, this pairing was inevitable. And I'm all for it. I was all for it in the Three Musketeers with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. And I think I was all for it for the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah, I think that was showed. And I'm all for it here. Come on, I'm all for it. The final one is Lonesome Ghost. In this one, the iconic trio forms a ghost hunting company, pre-Ghostbusters, that is. And this leads to shenanigans where a bunch of ghosts, all humanoid by the way, which is cursed to think about, and they're just terrorizing the trio. Like, till they get calmer and the three gets white paint spilled all over them, and then they just scare the ghosts out of the mansion that they reside in. All good fun, though Goofy's dim-wittedness is the highlight, mainly because he just looks so oblivious half the time, or he just looks like he's just so stupid half the time. He doesn't even know where he is. That's more or less so the writer and the animators doings back then. I'm sure, yeah, I'm obviously sure that Goofy is a very smart character, but hey, what you gonna do? That was not meant to happen. The next three are Mickey Mouse cartoons from the 40s and 50s. Yeah, there's no modern day stuff aside from two of these. I don't think I mentioned this. No, that's coming in a bit. Yeah. The first one is Pluto's Christmas Tree. Yeah. And if you watched Mickey's House of Mouse Christmas special, you would know of this short. Just some fun Tom and Jerry antics, only with Pluto and Chip and Dale, but with less extreme violence. Nothing will compare to the early days of Tom and Jerry's extreme violence. I mean, if you go back and watching them, Tom's skin literally gets peeled off. It's brutal, and I love it. I love Tom and Jerry, but I'm not talking about Tom and Jerry. I'm talking about Mickey Mouse. You You can see Pluto's on a ticking time bomb throughout this short, especially as the chipmunks get on his nerves more and more, just screwing things up and just being a bunch of nuisances. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It was also really sweet hearing Chippendale sing Deck the Halls at the end, though Pluto ruined it with his howling. The next one will be a lengthy one compared to the others, but I'll try to keep my thoughts as brief as I can. Yeah. Next one being Lend a Paw. Here Pluto finds a cat thrown into a bag, tossed down a river, and so he quickly saves it. Then he realizes it was a cat, whom starts following him home, and then Pluto gets jealous. Come on, Pluto, you saved a cat. At least be grateful that the cat is being thankful to you for saving his life. Don't be a jealous little git. Yeah. It's a standard always do the right thing message with the classic angel and devil on your shoulders. No, I think it's this one. Either way, angel and devil on your shoulders and all that. Yeah, though I like it in this one because the angel just gets fed up and with Pluto not listening to him, so he just kicks the devil away, or at least scares the devil and just gets them all out of here, showing that even angels have their breaking points. I'm sure many angels up in heaven has their breaking points. Yeah, it's just part of being human, I guess. I'm sure of that. Yeah, I mean, if we have anger and if we're just a mirror image of God's, surely God has anger. Something to think about, but hey, God is all loving, I guess. A little religious side tangent there. But yeah. Here's the part I want to mention. I've seen so many instances of cats or dogs being thrown into bags and just tossed down a river in these early cartoons. I don't know why, I don't know if it's just a product of its time, but it hurts to see these innocent creatures being treated this way. I mean, I've seen this twice in Tom and Jerry, one of them where Jerry saves a bunch of cats, and another where, unfortunately, some cats don't survive and get sent to heaven when Tom dies, by the way. And I think there was another one where either Tom and Jerry saves a puppy from drowning, or maybe it was both of them. I can't remember, but I definitely remember a puppy being treated this way. It's really sad, and it's probably just a product of its time, but yeah. I've seen it twice in Tom and Jerry, and I've seen it once in Mickey now. Someone please let me know what this was all about. And don't do this. Don't be cruel. I mean, do that to him? Can you see him? I don't think you can see him, no. My dog is on my bed right now, so would you do that? Would you do that to him? Would you do that to him? I wouldn't. How could you do that to him? Anyway, side tangent. Wait, this video is just a bunch of side tangents, let's be honest. The final one from the 40s is The Little Whirlwind. Yeah, Mickey was just trying to clean Minnie's garden, though it was for a cake that she was baking. Then a little whirlwind decides to troll Disney and decides to troll Mickey and ruins his progress. Then when Mickey is trying to swat that little pest away, of course the little angel goes away and calls his mother, which is a massive tornado, ruining so much of Mickey's progress. And then Minnie blames him. Minnie blames him for the destruction that he did not cause, which gets the cake just thrown in his face. Minnie, not only did you ruin a perfectly good cake that you could have eaten instead of throwing it at Mickey, but you blamed something that was not Mickey's fault at all. Come on, Minnie. But hey, priorities, am I right? It was fun. It has fun animated segments. Mickey is as fun-loved as ever, and you can see that even he gets ticked off as well, which we need more of. We need more of seeing Mickey ticked off, especially since he's the golden child of Disney, the mascot of the company. Yeah. Yeah, though I will say the ending sours it because of tornado business, but not by much. I don't hate this. It was enjoyable. All right, let's shake things up now. Time for the TV special. Does anyone remember the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? I certainly do. And I decided to rewatch the Alice in Wonderland parody. And boy, was it the best thing I've ever seen when I was a kid, when I was about 5 years old. Yeah, you're not gonna find this highly ranked, considering it's just a Dora the Explorer type show where you get pissed off that the characters are just so oblivious to their surroundings. I know that these shows are aimed for toddlers and all that, but it doesn't mean I can't be critical about these shows. I'm sure if I ever watch Bluey, I will definitely be critical. I mean, a film critic is basically being critical about anything. I'm not saying I'm a film critic, but I'm just saying that if you want to be a film critic, you have to be critical about a lot of films. You can't just turn your brain off and enjoy it, which I do mostly, but still. Yeah. What was? Yeah. Yeah, but it is. So yeah, it's nice seeing Donald doing something sweet for his lady. I mean, getting Daisy a cuckoo clock for her birthday. Though Donald being Donald, he messes that up by managing to break the cuckoo clock by losing the cuckoo bird within the cuckoo clock. Then he must travel down to Wonderland with Mickey, being the best friend that he is, trying to find the cuckoo bird, whilst meeting Wonderland versions of their friends. Yeah, it's all strange stuff with very cheap 3D animation. I mean, Chip and Dale look ugly in this format. Now watching it as an adult, but a cheap 3D animation is a standard for kids shows, I guess. Yeah. It's cool seeing Clarabelle being part of this cast in the show, but still no Horace Collar for some reason. Now, I will say, even though they didn't have Oswald due to the situation where they couldn't get his rights back till 2006, which they actually traded a real person, a sports announcer. He was someone related to sports, but it was a real person that Disney traded just so they can get the rights back to Oswald. That's a true story. I double checked that when I was writing the script. It's a true story. Look it up. If I can, I'll leave a link in the description, but I can't right now. But still, yeah, even though it's that sort of situation where they couldn't have brought in Oswald, I mean, they still had Horace. They had Horace for the same amount of time as Mickey, somewhat. I mean, Horace was in the band concert with Mickey, Goofy, Donald, and Clarabelle. I'm moving this bin, I'm sorry. And they don't include Horace. I mean, they included Clarabelle in this. They had Pete in this. They have Willie the Giant in this show. They even included Mortimer in about 2 episodes. And even Chip and Dale. And for some reason, Santa and Mrs. Claus as well. That was fun. And even Ludwig von Drake is in this. A probably more obscure character, or as much of an obscure character as Horace. I mean, you'd expect Scrooge McDuck to show up in this show more than Ludwig. And there's no Horace. I don't know why. We could have grown up with Horace as well as Clarabelle. They just didn't. I'm just rambling on at this point. That's just something that's just getting to me now. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. Nothing any adult would find unironically enjoyable, but it didn't need to be that way. Full feature film on this review. My voice is straining, so I'm going to end it here and return back in the afternoon. Frankenweenie. Tim Burton is a director that anyone can recognize with his signature gothic style and horror for kids approach to filmmaking. It's something that anyone could appreciate. I mean, I enjoyed Beetlejuice. It has a very good presence and a very enjoyable style. Nightmare Before Christmas, though I'm pretty sure that it has as much to do with Henry Selick than as it does with Tim Burton. But still, it's a very enjoyable film, Nightmare Before Christmas, and a load of his other works, with Wednesday season 2 coming out very soon. But yeah, it's just it's something that anyone can appreciate. Here is a story of Victor Frankenstein trying to bring his dead dog back to life, and that is something we all wish we could do. It's relatable. It's relatable because we miss our pets that died, and we want them back in any way. I myself have actually lost some pets this year, and one of them I know has died. I had 2 cats. They were probably the loves of my pet life, alongside that doofus right there. I still don't know if you can see him, but I have a dog on my bed. But yeah, they were some of the best pets I ever have, even though I've only had 4 in my lifetime, and they unfortunately both died. I know one of them is dead. The other one has been missing and is presumed dead due to some foxes. Foxes are sneaky bastards. I'm standing to my word, unfortunately. But it's something that and every other time I take him out for a walk, I still think that one of them could show up. But at this point, that's just wishful thinking. So yeah, if you ever have people who you love or pets that you love, the best thing to do is just hold on to them, but remember that they're never forgotten. Even though you wish for them to come back, life doesn't work that way, and you should accept that. Sorry, it's something that I should have bring up. So if you ever have pets, love them to the end of their days, or love them to the end of your days, because you never know. You never know when the last day will happen. But yeah, back to film, shall we? I'm not apologizing for that. I think that's something anyone should hear. Yeah. The animation is fluid. The animation is very fluid for being a stop motion film. Yeah, it's creepy as well. I love the black and white filter over the film, really giving that homage to classic Universal monster films from the 30s and 40s, which I'm still fascinated about. I still need to watch them, but they are just so fascinating how they've managed to make timeless classics from that early on in filmmaking. Yeah. The girl with the cat that becomes a demon cat in the end is either high off her mind or has seen something that has made her become traumatized to no end. I didn't write this in the script, but I really like the teacher character in this. He does look like he's that typical villain sort of character, the way he's designed. But in the end, he's just a teacher who wants to give the students something interesting to learn. And it has a very good honorable message, or something to think about, with him saying science isn't good or bad, but it can be used in both ways, which is something that I think everyone should listen. Science is not bad, obviously, but it can be used in both ways. Yeah. Though I will admit, he did shoot himself in the foot when he was trying to defend himself in front of the children's parents. Don't know what to tell you, mate. You dug your own grave there. Now, yeah. The Hunchback character is not only creepy, but also a traitor and a coward, who indirectly caused the kaiju turtle monster to wreak havoc across the town. Hey, buddy? Yeah, give me a second. The best part of the film is obviously the relationship between Victor and Sparky, the dog. It's really sweet, their dynamic, and they both end up saving each other by the end, showing a true friendship between a boy and his dog. And throughout, you just wish that Sparky never died, and you can just see how much of a sweetheart He is, and also he's scared of the Hunchback character. I would be too if I was a dog. I'm not saying that Hunchback people are inherently scary. I mean, Quasimodo is the biggest sweetheart in any Disney film. But in films like these, the Hunchback characters are usually the creepy, scary ones. So you're gonna have that in these films. Now, the only element I wish was explored more was the relationship between Victor and Elsa, his neighbor. They had good chemistry when they interacted, and it seemed that they were going to have a bigger scene together, but it never came, which is really a shame because I wanted more of them than just 2 scenes. But you can't have everything, so yeah. I mean, I found it to be a really sweet film. I really appreciate stop motion as a form of animation. It's really creepy, and one of my favorite stop motion pieces is a episode from Love, Death and Robots. I'm not counting that as the review because I didn't watch it last week, but called Through the House, where it's a different adaptation of Santa Claus. Instead of being the jolly old fat man, he's a Lovecraftian eldritch horror demon monster. But he's still Santa. He still knows if you've been sleeping, if he knows if you're awake, and if he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. I had to do that. But still, he's very creepy. I will show an image of him right here. He's very creepy. The design is epic. And it's basically the biblically accurate angel sort of rendition of when actually the kind jolly old soul is scarier than you think. I mean, angels were described that way to ward off demons, to scare demons away, and they are always say, "Do not fear me" or "Fear not." So in a way it makes sense that Santa would have that same sort of approach. Though I don't think the Bible would describe him as a biblically... No, not... I wouldn't think the Bible would describe him as an eldritch horror demon. But he's still Santa. And what he does with his hands, it looks like he was playing peekaboo. And then he pats one of the kids' heads to tell them to stay good. And I think that's sweet. I want more of this Santa. Love, Death and Robots, bring that character back. Or make a full feature film of kids' revelations that Santa is an eldritch horror demon. Someone send that to the creator of Love, Death and Robots. I want to see more of eldritch horror Santa. Please. Back at it with the second half. I was busy, I was going around town, so that's probably why my hair looks a bit different. You don't care, that's fine. Anyways, the next 10 are Donald and Chip and Dale cartoons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 2 of them separately, and then the rest afterwards are from the DVD box sets ones. Yeah. Though I will say which order I watched each of them as I go along. So yeah. The 2 not DVD shorts are Crazy Over Daisy and All in a Nutshell. Crazy Over Daisy is the worst film I've watched last week. And it all boils down to pretty much that Donald is in the right fully. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Donald is one of our main Disney guys, but he's always usually the Squidward of Disney, essentially the punching bag. So yeah, have to use Squidward as for that analogy. But, yeah, and I'll be saying this throughout the other 9 cartoons, saying that Donald's in the right, yada yada yada. I'll be doing that, but in this one, he's in the right. He's absolutely in the right. Donald just gets bullied by Chip and Dale for no reason. It's not like other cartoons where he's the initial one who started the torment, where he just picks on Chip and Dale and they retaliate twice as hard. No, he was just unicycling through the park. Then Chip and Dale just decided to bully him for no reason. What's even worse is that in the end, Donald uses Chip and Dale for his new bicycle instead of unicycle because they broke his unicycle. Daisy sides with the rats because he was apparently abusing them, even though that the rats were abusing him the entire time. Donald should have said that these rats were abusing him. She might not believe them, but he could have said they broke his bicycle. They threw nuts at him when he was just cycling by for no goddamn reason. Why? Okay, the only other points I have to give is that it's nice to see other Mickey Mouse characters in this, like Daisy, Mickey, Goofy, and Minnie in this. It was nice seeing them. Daisy is thick in this for some reason, though it's probably the dress. And why is there humans in a Mickey Mouse cartoon? There's humans in this Mickey Mouse cartoons for some reason. That's cursed to see. Why is there humans in this? The next one is Over in a Nutshell. And in this one, Donald is just trying to sell some nuts butter. And so he steals the nuts from the chipmunks, and the chipmunks steals the butter back. I think Donald should just call a restraining order on the rodents. Let's be honest. And also, the chipmunks could have just stolen 2 jars and they'll be fine. Greedy bastards. Yeah. Here's the rest. I forgot to mention, where am I? Crazy Over Daisy, I watched 4th. And All in a Nutshell, I watched 5th. So here's the rest. In order that I watched them. Dragging Around, Corn Chip, Out on a Limb, Toy Tinkers, Winter Storage, Donald Applecore, Free for Breakfast, and Working for Peanuts. All from the DVD set Trouble in the Tree. Yeah. Dragging Around, Corn Chips, and Out on a Limb I watched before the other 2. And then the rest I watched afterwards. So just gonna hold this up here. Dragging Around. Donald is trying to build a freeway for others to drive down, and so Chip and Dale puts a stop to his plans because their rotten tree is their home. Donald is just trying to do his job. He's just trying to make a highway, which is said for their safety, for people's safety. These guys are just ruining Donald's life. Corn Chips. Donald makes the rats shovel his pathway, then goes to make popcorn. Then the rodent steals his popcorn. Ending with Donald having to shovel popcorn off his driveway. This made me hungry for popcorn. Donald could have just made more popcorn and make sure the rats don't enter his house again. He had it coming for that one. He could have just made some more. Out on a Limb. Donald is trimming his tree and putting tar on the cut bits for some reason. Then decides to mess with the chipmunks with trimming tools. This one's on Donald. He had it coming. I can't defend him for this one. That's just karma coming for him. Yeah. Can't defend his actions when his actions have consequences, am I right? Toy Tinkers. Chip and Dale breaks into Donald's home and begins to steal some nuts. Then Dale causes some shenanigans, which ends with a turf war. With Donald exploding from one of the funniest gags ever. It was this phone gag where he was just like, hello. And then either Chip or Dale explodes a bang in it for some reason with a toy gun. And it's just funny. And it happens 3 times and each of them just gets funnier and funnier every time the explosion hits. And it actually ends with Donald giving up for once. The other ones, he doesn't give up. He just loses. This one, he gives up. That is very surprising for once. Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Donald, he needs to call an exterminator. These guys just broke into his house. Winter storage. Donald decides to help the environment by planting nuts for them to grow into tree. Then the vermins dig up the nuts they planted, which ends with a free playing hockey, and Donald breaks down laughing after scoring a goal in their tree. This one I'm split because squirrels and chipmunks dig up food for winter, but they usually bury it. But in this one, they're just digging up the nuts that Donald planted. Come on. Think of the bigger picture. You plant tree, you plant nuts, grow into tree, produce more nuts. Investment. They're not thinking of the bigger picture. They're just a bunch of greedy, hungry little gits. Yeah, their sin is gluttony. Let's be honest. Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're animals, but they're not thinking of the bigger picture, and they're sentient. And don't say that they'll die before the tree grows. They've lasted till now. We've had that Rescue Rangers films a few years ago. They are not normal chipmunks. They've lasted this long. I think they'll be fine to wait about 80 years or so, or however long trees grow. Next one is Donald Applecore. The rats eat Donald's apples, and so Donald tries to exterminate them. But it leads to them doing Applecore Baltimore. If you ever heard that, it's some old game that kids used to play to each other. It's not a game, it's a prank. It's Applecore Baltimore, and they say, Applecore Baltimore, who's your friend? You say me or him, her. And they get thrown with an apple core, or at least that's how it's shown in this cartoon. Let's face Donald, come on. And then it all leads to Donald ending up to the other side of the world for some reason. Cartoon logic, I guess. I mean, Donald, you need to call an exterminator. Get them arrested. They're ruining your life. These chipmunks are ruining Donald's life, let's be honest. Free for breakfast. The rats steal Donald's pancakes, and it causes him to slide all over the house after pulling some rubber. It makes much more sense if you actually watch it. And it ends with Donald doing a racism. And that's not Donald's fault. It's entirely Dale's fault, by the way. And it's entirely Dale's fault. So, do I need to say who's in the wrong? I mean, it's the chipmunks. Dale is the one in the wrong. Donald isn't intentionally doing the racism. In fact, Dale mocks Donald doing the racism. So, in fact, Dale's doing the real racism. So, who's really in the wrong? It's the rodents, let's face it. And the final one out of the Chip and Dale cartoons is working for peanuts. The vermin steals peanuts from the absolute sweetheart Dolores the elephant. And they do whiteface at the end. So, I mean, they're a bunch of brown chipmunks, so they're trying to pass themselves off as albino chipmunks to get free peanuts. I'll let you ponder on that one. There's a load of racism in this one, let's face it. Though this was in the 50s and the 40s, so it makes sense. So yeah, also Donald is a zookeeper in this one, and his care and worry for Dolores is just all I need to see. Also the seal from Mickey and the Seal is in this. He shows up for a second, and then Dale tries to mock him, think he'll get free peanuts, but he just gets a fish. And then he becomes the abuser when Chip actively is mocking Dale for his stupidity, which leads to Dale whacking Chip with a fish. Then Chip apologizes. I think that's enough to say that you don't mess with Dale to the point even Chip has to apologize. I think all I can say about these cartoons is that Chip and Dale needs to be on a list or something. They are a bunch of terrorizing little vermin that really, really should be checked on. They are a danger to society, especially to Donald. And you might think, oh, I hate Chip and Dale, all that. No, Chip and Dale are actually some of my favorite characters in the Mickey Mouse universe. It's probably has more so to do with Rescue Rangers, but I enjoyed these guys. It's like how I feel with Jerry in Tom and Jerry. Jerry needs to be put in his place a lot of the times, but I still love him. And I sympathize with Donald and Tom much more. My voice is going to go, but here are the final two, the big ones. The Skeleton Dance, a well-done musical sync with skeletons and them abusing cats and other animals. There's a lot of abusing animals here in these early cartoons. And also bending over for each other. Which the latter one got a reaction out of my animation class when we watched it last year. Not for me, because I have standards. But still. Yeah, but still. I find the eerie aesthetics really pleasing. It serves the story well, with it being about spooky, scary skeletons. And the final one, the one I wanted to finish the marathon over the week, of course, is the ever iconic Steamboat Willie. 3 things. The opening whistle. Mickey cuts off massive chunks of potatoes, wasting a lot of good potato. And Mickey abuses animals. I mean the opening whistle is just so iconic. It is open to every Disney film from the past 20 odd years or so, and you can never get more iconic with the Steamboat Mickey, the Steamboat Willie whistle at the beginning. And also, it also what really gets to me is it's just Mickey cuts off massive chunks of potatoes and he just wastes so much of the potatoes. You're wasting so much of good potato by cutting your massive chunks. Why are you making small nuggets when you can have bigger nuggets? Come on. The final one, Disney actually gets to have a personality than just a blank state for Disney's perfect mascot. He abuses animals just to play a tune. I think that's enough said. Yeah, overall, what should I give all these ratings now? I'm gonna just give me a second. Okay, so let's get into it, shall we? All Wet 7 out of 10. Through the Mirror 8 out of 10. The Band Concert and Lonesome Ghosts 7 out of 10. Pluto's Christmas Tree 8 out of 10. Lend a Paw and the Little Whirlwind 7 out of 10. Mickey's Adventures in Wonderland 6 out of 10. Frankenweenie, Dragging Around, Corn Chips, and Out on a Limb 7 out of 10. Crazy Over Daisy 5 out of 10. All in a Nutshell and Toy Tinkers 6 out of 10. Winter Storage 7 out of 10. Donald Applecore 6 out of 10. Free for Breakfast, Working for Peanuts 7 out of 10. Skeleton Dance 9 out of 10. And Steamboat Willie 8 out of 10. My voice hurts. It doesn't hurt, it's just tired now. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of this video. I wanted to be there to give you a third, fourth, or fifth perspective in any film that you watch. And hopefully you gotten some insight on this. And if you want to watch them, they're all on Disney Plus except for 3, 4? I know that. Yeah, except for 4. 4 of them aren't on Disney Plus. That was Toy Tinkers, Donald Applecore, Free for Breakfast, and Working for Peanuts. They're not on Disney Plus, but you can find them on YouTube or other sites like Dailymotion and all that. So I was lucky enough to not get ads on that. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments down below of what other films you would like me to watch, and I'll consider watching them for the coming weeks or so. Anyways, that's the end of today's video. I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one.